Hey Georgie, thanks for joining me today. As you know, I run these quick 10 to 15 minute interviews with founders in our GDM World community where we dive into what makes their product tick. My audience is GDM professionals, sales leaders, RevOps folks, growth marketers who appreciate technical conversations about the tools they are evaluating. So I've looked at Signalbase and honestly, the verified intent signal approach is really interesting. Especially the investor database piece, I want to ask you 5 focus questions that will help my community understand how Signalbase works and whether it fits the stack or sound good. Okay.
Yeah, let's do
So
it.
yeah. So the first question is that so you claim your signals are verified and customers say your data's quality is unreal. What's your actual verification process? And how do you ensure a funding round or hire is really about it if it hits my CRM? And how does that
Mhm.
compare to tools like Clay where people build their own workflows? That's the first question for you.
Okay, I'll start big by saying that we actually got a Clay executive on our podcast who openly shared that they don't care about data quality that is being given to their users. And yeah, I mean, let's just start from there, right? Like, what are we even talking about when it comes to sourcing that initial data, which comes down to the fact that Clay is an enrichment platform, not a sourcing platform, right? So this is, I think, the first thing. What makes us different is that ever since I stepped in as a CEO, I said that we need a simple 3-layer verification system. And it goes through the following way of sourcing. So we have pre-vetted by myself news sources. We also use social media. And then based on that one, we purchase a few other APIs in order to increase the scraping window. And if you go to the job changes signal, for instance, what you can see is that we source signals within less than a minute ago time frame, which makes us significantly faster and better than the rest of the stale database providers that just buy chunk data on a weekly or monthly basis, right? So this is the first layer. The second layer is that we use our own LLMs in order to read absolutely everything from the sources, include all of the sources and try to find a similar data points in order to increase the accuracy of the particular signal. And only then, if we don't have a certain level above 80% of accuracy, then we have someone manually checking it like a VA, which includes also a third layer of verification. And all of this runs every freaking day, every second, every minute, right? So that's how we
That's
manage
great.
to get a large chunk of data.
Yeah, so you guys are going through multiple rating and multiple, I will say, layers, right? That's a great stuff. So
Correct.
my second question is that you offer 3 ways to get data. Okay, REST API, webhooks, and native HubSpot integration. And for a mid-sized sales team that's not super technical, which should they start with and why? Like, what's the difference between in setup time and signal freshness?
Great question. I feel like most of the teams that use this and they're going to build their engine without any technical expertise is a simple CSV download, right? You just download it, push it into another platform, you just map all the columns that you want. Boom, there you have it, like less than a minute ago. What is interesting is actually the webhooks because they work in a two-way manner. You can either enable them to auto-populate your clay tables if you enable auto-enabling on, of course. And what does that mean is that every time whenever you have a company, let's say that you want to target, such as Series A company within the US that is health tech, what happens is that we push that data automatically, which makes our data live and so as your clay table, right? Which makes it unique. On the other side, the secondary use case is to push data. So you just select all the companies that you want, and with a simple push function, just transfer it to your clay table. So I would say this is by far the easiest way how to navigate around it. And of course, we have a native HubSpot integration, which includes the personal level data and company-based data, so you can have it in your CRM and run additional automations there.
Yeah, that was great stuff. So, my third question is that your homepage says 90% of your market isn't ready to buy. So, how does Signal Base help teams identify the 10% that is, right? What combination of signals typically indicates the strongest and buying intent, and can teams layer multiple signals together, like sales B finding plus VP sales high, something like that?
Mhm. So just to answer first this, it's something that we're creating as we speak, a complete company profile. So imagine if you have in the one folder both their funding round with all of the sources together with their new open job. and the recent job change that we have. It's quite powerful, and especially if you push this to Clay, then you have to happen a complete overview of particular account in your hands. Now we don't do that yet. Currently, we just source unique accounts per signal, which is funding, acquisition, or job change. But it's something that we definitely have on the product roadmap. When it comes to the buying signals, what I say is that the signals that we provide is actually not indicating buyer readiness, because I come from a marketing world and I do know that a simple outreach cannot indicate when someone is ready. They actually need to engage with your content, like get warmer, etc., etc. What we do share is that the chances of them picking up the phone is 3 times higher simply because they have emotion around it. So your SDRs or you yourself as a GTM agency can pick it up and start monitoring for additional signals later down the line, like social engagement, etc., in order to get a little bit more context towards, okay, this is relevant for them or this is not relevant for them, etc. So at least we help your SDR team to not be on the other side of the screen wondering if they have budget or not.
Yes, so that's what this one more, I would say, pro side of your signal base. So
Correct.
my fourth question is a bit on, I would say, on side of economics and the finances. So
Mhm.
your customers claim they are saving $50,000 plus monthly by replacing enterprise heavy tools. What tools are they typically replacing? And at £39 per month for GDM signals plan with 500 API credits. I help
Yeah.
me understand the economics. When the teams need to jump to the custom signal engine tire.
So number one is seating. What we do offer within the 30 base plan is only one seat. So in case you want to have multiple team members of yours in it, then you need a little bit more of a custom plan. In case you want more credits than 500, it's also a custom plan for the moment. So it's kind of easy. Like you test the API. If you want more, you get a custom seating and things like this. When it comes to the unique economics, what you're reading is actually a use case that we got from an in-house sales team that is currently within 30 million of MRR. There is another use case for agencies, which is approximately 5 days of manual workflow buildings and 20,000 euros of additional Clay credits in enrichment and things like this, simply because of the fact that the validation of the data is where it gets harder, right? Like sourcing
Yeah,
is okay, but the initial incrementality of the data is where Signalbase comes to play. So that's how pretty much it goes. As for the 50K use case, previously they had the highest possible degree subscription within Clay, so between 700 euros a month all the way up to 3K, depending on what you do and how you do it. Then you layer Six Sense, then you layer all of these very heavy enterprise tooling, which claim to be all-in-one, and throwing the whole value proposition of get ready to buy leads, but ultimately everyone know that's bullshit. Excuse my language.
yeah. So yeah, that serves the purpose. So my last question, most probably the last question, will be that if one of your testimonials says they pulled 332 companies fast with unreal quality, walk me through that. What a team should expect in the first 30 days, and how many
Mhm.
signals should they see daily for their ICP, and what's a realistic timeline to close their first deal from a signal based signal, like a
Yeah.
signal coming from your
The
source.
the use case comes actually from one of the Clay Club owners in Manila. So shout out to Ericsson. He's a great guy. That case study comes simply because of the fact that he managed to create the live monitoring flow from Signalbase around Series A companies in the US and things like this. And it's ultimately the whole webhook, right? So he just select the filters in 3 minutes, push it to his Clay table, and then the data populated. In regards to how many results you guys can expect, that very much depends. But just to put it in perspective, on the job changes side, we source between 8 to 9,000 signals a day. And then if you put it in perspective to the rest of the signals that we have, for instance, the signal one, we have around 70,000 and counting. So it just updates in real life. Unfortunately, I cannot say, give a like per exact number because it depends on the use case, but that's the reason why we have a free trial in place, so you can give it a spin.
Yeah, thank you for answering that. And this question, I would say, is the last because we have enough
Sure.
time for that. So, I read something really interesting. So you have an investor database tracking VCs, angels, and I would say PE firms. Is that right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
how does this work alongside your funding signals, and can teams filter companies by which investor backed them, or what's a smart workflow for using investor data in outbound? What do you say about that?
Yeah. I will give credit to Tanai from the Clay Bootcamp. He's one of the mentors. This guy is brilliant. What he ultimately did is go to our API, ask for all the investors within a particular region that he's interested in, and run additional enrichment through there through Cloud Code. So I think that's by far one of the
10x the
most up
god.
to date use cases.
You're right, 10x the
Yeah.
god.
So shout out to Danai for that one.
Shout out.
Yeah, and I think that's a great use case. And the thing is, from there you can do so much more. Later down the line, we're going to scrape all investor websites that are being there and not more. So therefore, we're going to display a lot more information, like the type of tickets that they display, and beyond that, like how much of their annual funding is already given to different portfolio startups and things like this. But I would say that's the by far the best way right now. Just put it into Cloud Code to NNN and things like this.
That's amazing and perfect, Georgie. I really appreciate you breaking all this down. I'm going to edit this into a 60-second trailer and share it with the full interview link to the GDM Word community and on our LinkedIn's as well. They're going to love the technical depth here. I'm sure about that. And where should people go if they want to try Signalbase or book a demo with you?
Simply go to the website trysignalbase.com or just hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm always there, happy to help you guys and brainstorm the best strategy for your use case.
Perfect. That's it. That's a wrap.